President Kennedy's plane has just arrived after a 2-hour, 40-minute flight from El Paso, Texas, where the president spent last night on his Western tour. Heading the reception committee is Governor Brown. Governor Brown, I understand you have an interesting story to tell about how you invited the president here.
Well, yes, Dr. Love suggested that he be given a degree down here, and when I went back to Washington, I really went back to get him to take the first honorary degree, accept the first honorary degree from the state colleges of our state.
You were at a baseball game at
We were at the baseball game between Baltimore and Washington, and I sold him on the idea of coming out here. He was just going out and inspect the Navy and the maneuvers, and I felt that this would be good for the state colleges and the higher education of our state.
It's a great day for the state colleges here.
It certainly is, and a great day for San Diego.
The News and Special Events Department of TV8 presents highlights of President Kennedy's visit to San Diego. Brought to you as a public service by your Douglas service station dealers of San Diego County.
Here comes the ramp, and soon we will see the President of the United States and his party disembark from the presidential Boeing 707.
Hi.
The reception committee is forming ranks here. Others in the plane besides the politicians whom I mentioned are scheduled to be General Maxwell Taylor, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Admiral George Anderson, the Chief of Naval Operations, and here comes the President of the United States, followed by Senator Engel, Lionel Van Deerlen, the Congressman, Secret Service men behind him. Secretary of the Navy Fred Korth is on the plane. The Assistant Secretary of the Navy Paul Fay, General David Shoup, Commandant of the Marine Corps. There's Pierre Salinger, the Presidential Secretary. The Governor now is speaking to the President, followed by Senator Engel and Congressman Van Deerlen. Welcome to San Diego, Mr. President. The President just said thank you very much as we welcomed him personally to San Diego. He's going to see a large part of San Diego, a large part of the population of San Diego as he proceeds out El Cajon Boulevard to State College, an estimated 250,000 persons. Hi, Lionel. And the motorcade proceeds, followed by Secret Service agents.
Get it? I think so. Good.
A total of about a dozen automobiles. Directly behind the President's car is an automobile with Secret Service agents. And behind that is a compact which has in it some of the top newsmen, including Merriman Smith of the United Press, the senior White House correspondent, who says, thank you, Mr. President, to wind up the press conference. Other dignitaries, state officials, mayor, zipping right by here, and soon they will be getting out on El Cajon Boulevard. When the motorcade leaves the field here, it'll swing south on Pacific Highway, past the Convair plant and the airport terminal, over on Palm Avenue and onto the new Crosstown Freeway, connecting with Cabrillo Freeway, then north to Washington Street and over to El Cajon Boulevard.
The presidential motorcade driving right down the center of the street in our picture. He has not yet arrived at 52nd and El Cajon, where our first stationary camera is located. We hope to have a much steadier picture from the stationary camera, naturally, because it'll be mounted square right on the sidewalk. That's a shot of the helicopter flying over. This, if I'm not incorrect, is one of the helicopters that's relaying our TV signal from the mobile camera in the parade route. The police drive by quite frequently, helping the Marines keep the crowd in check. The Marines, by the way, are stationed at 54th and El Cajon, where we have one of the biggest crowds of the route, are stationed about every 5 or 6 feet apart, and they've certainly had their hands full in keeping these people back because everybody's leaning forward, pushing to the front, knowing that the president's about to go by. The band in the background, Crawford High School Band, striking up, hoping that the president will be here any moment and wanting to play some stirring march music for him. May I again point out that the picture you see is not from 54th and El Cajon. It's from a vantage point about 4 blocks west of where we are, looking west and seeing the first of the motorcade as it goes by. And that's part of the crowd lining the streets, lots of children, the Marines with their hands full. The motorcycle officer, I understand, has been instructed to make sure that everybody does not get out into the street. No reports of whether or not he has run over any toes or not, but doing a good job of keeping them by. Now, the presidential motorcade is approaching 54th and El Cajon. Everybody here is on his feet. The people are beginning to cheer. The people behind me are, of course, quite expectant and quite excited about this occasion. First car coming by our camera at 54th and El Cajon is one of the lead cars on the motorcade. Behind it, the officers on their motorcycles with their red lights blazing. They can see them now, and a cheer is going up from 54 and El Cajon. They're yelling, they're waving. They've all got signs, it seems, and they're all waving their signs. The president looks fit. He's got a great big smile.